All right, you guys don't want to hear me singing that in the background. And welcome to this Monday. This is going to be an extremely busy week in the markets between earnings, eco data, jobs announcement on Friday, the Fed. We're going to get all into that momentarily. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. But as you will see, what I am wearing today, this is a Leonid in Friends t-shirt. This is a t-shirt that was specially made up for my charitable foundation, which Leonid and Friends and our special guest today performed for us. It was an incredible event, incredible concert. And guess what? On today's wheel, we've got some Leonid swag to go out for everybody also. So I know we all were waiting for this. I promised everybody he is here. He is live. He is in studio with us right now. Let's bring him in. The one,
Hello, everybody.
the one,
Hey,
the
Scott.
only Danny Buranov. He is the lead singer of the band that I play music in here all the time, Leonid and Friends. In fact, a ton of you have already gone to see them. And you know what? Danny and actually the rest of the band, but they're not just incredible musicians, everybody. They are salt of the earth people. These are people that you want to hang out with. These are people you want to invite over for dinner. They would do anything for you. So Danny, his wife, Iris, the rest of the band, they honestly they're family to me. I know I'm family to them, and it is they're just incredible. They start up again. And Danny, when are you guys coming back here? Like in 3 weeks, end of August?
Yeah, that's right. First of all, thank you so much for inviting to me. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that a lot. And I just got from the last tour. Let me see, 4 weeks ago, and we will go again and, after 20 days.
Wow. I mean, you were on tour. You had what, 60 shows in the spring, and
Yeah, usually it's 50 shows
yeah,
in one tour, but we have two tours in a year. So
yeah. So
around 100 concerts in a year.
that's unbelievable. And honestly, if anybody wants to see them this fall, we'll post up a link to their schedule.
Thank you, bro.
They hit a little bit on the East Coast, Midwest, and then it's mostly like Texas and the West. They kind of divide up where they go timing of the year. But we'll post that up here. They're getting ready to roll. But I promise. Oh, you know what? We just posted up here before we even get to Danny here. Danny actually has a live stream tonight that he's
That's
doing.
correct.
Yes, and it's incredible. It's like unplugged version. He is unbelievable. So we just posted up a link to that. I think that's at 7. Or what time does that start, Danny? 7 o'clock in Chicago, or
Oh, let me see. It's 5 p.m.
yeah, by
Los
you.
Angeles time, but it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard
Eastern.
Time.
Yep, it's 7.
Yes.
So anybody that wants to watch Danny live tonight for like an hour, you got it. But we got him first right here. So that intro song that we play every day that I have told you about repeatedly. Okay, that is this guy right here. All right.
I'm
So
so happy that it was me. I mean, that it's me, and I realized that you're doing it just recently, and I'm so honored, and it's a pleasure to be here today.
all right, you want to give it a run? You want to let everybody hear it?
Yes, definitely.
Let's
Can
do
I
it.
start?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go, everybody. Come out. Yeah. Every man has a place, and his heart has a space, and the world can erase his fantasies. Take a ride in the sky, on the ship and the sky. All your dreams will come true right away. And we will live together until the 12th of never. Our voices will ring forever. Everybody, as one. Yeah. Every thought is a dream, rushing by in the stream. Live life to awaken of new rain. Take a ride in the sky, on the ship and the sky. All your dreams will come true miles away. Our voices will bring together until the 12th of never. We all will live love forever as one. Yes.
I was just about to lip sync it, and everybody would have thought it was me.
That's cool.
Guys, you can't get better than that. And this, listen, I know he was up. He was just getting his voice ready this morning, but that's obviously unedited, nothing, no background shenanigans or anything. So I honestly, I cannot emphasize enough how much you will all enjoy seeing Danny and Leonid and friends in concert and listening to Danny's live stream tonight. Hey, Mike, can we, yeah, Barry, I was ready to. Mike, can we post up the link for Danny again for his live stream tonight? That is at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. And Danny, you go for like what, an hour, a little over an hour or so?
Yeah, usually it's an hour and 10 minutes or hour and 20 or something like that.
Perfect. And he usually brings the guest star of the evening, his dog, Bro.
Yeah, that's right.
Usually makes a special appearance in there. So I know I'll be on it tonight. Hopefully we'll see the rest of you guys on tonight. And again, because of Danny, we're going to be giving away some Leonid swag today. And yes. and again, anybody that ever wants tickets, all you got to do is ask me. So Danny, you are the man. I love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Can't tell you.
It was an honor.
Awesome. I can't tell you how much I appreciate this, and I will see you tonight.
That sounds amazing. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everybody. I wish you the best day, the best week, and everything like that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, brother. We'll see you tonight.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed that. We are going to get into some real business stuff today, but this was Danny. If we can put up a link to that, but again, hopefully everybody enjoyed that. I know I did. I was waiting all weekend for that. Okay, guys. So let's get into what's happening in the market. I know, we got to have some fun every now and then, right? Has to happen. This is a huge week for the market. I know today is very slow. The market's getting off to a little bit of a slow start right now, but that's okay because even when it's slow, we've been killing it. All right. But this week, okay, biggest earnings week of the earnings season, maybe of the entire year. We've got Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, and about an entire third of the S&P 500 companies report this week. We've got the Fed decision comes out on Wednesday. We've got a ton of economic data all week long, like big economic data that we're going to go through. And then, we've got Friday is the tariff deadline. All right, so let's talk about what we have. And then we're going to go into why these things are so important and how and why they might shape how the market trades, not just in the next several weeks, but maybe for the rest of the year. So we've got treasury auctions all week. We're going to go into what that means. Literally, we've got from notes to bonds, all sorts of yields going from 3-month, 6-month, all the way out to, I believe, a 20-year auction this week. Okay, tomorrow, big eco data. We've got Redbook, JOLTS, and the Atlanta Fed GDP now. Now, don't worry if you don't know what any of these are, because we're going to go into them. Okay, Wednesday, ADP non-farm payroll, core PCE, real consumer spending, GDP, and the Fed decision. Thursday, weekly jobless claims, personal income and spending, and then Friday is the mother of them all. This is the big one. It's the monthly jobs report. So we will get the July non-farm payroll report Friday morning, in addition to getting Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. This is, I'm not sure I remember a week that literally had so much packed into it. Earnings and all of this really consequential eco data. So what is a bond auction? Okay, what is a bond auction? Well, the government, that's how they get money. That's how they raise money to, finance things. So they sell short and long-term government bonds, okay, to help minimize the cost of financing national debt. Stephen, it is always recorded. Every one of these are recorded and posted on our YouTube page. So you can find every single one of them. Okay. Now, when you look at the different auctions or you hear about notes or T-bills or bonds, they're all the same thing in terms of their government debt. The difference between them is the length of maturity. Okay. So T-bills, Treasury bills, they have the shortest maturities. Okay. They range from 4 weeks to a year. Okay. Treasury notes, which are T-notes, okay, they mature in 2 to 10 years. And then Treasury bonds, T-bonds, are 20 to 30 years. So that is the only difference between all of the Treasury debt, is the length of time. Okay. The government auctions most short-term T-bills weekly, but the longer-term ones are auctioned less often. Okay. There are 2 types of bids, and who's doing the bidding? It's really not you and I. It's big institutions, banks, Goldman Sachs. Okay, they're bidding for this government debt, and there is competitive and non-competitive bidding. Okay, now T-bills. Okay, T-bills, because they are the shortest term, shortest length of maturity, okay, they actually get delivered the same day. Okay, now interest payments. When do you get paid? How much do you get paid? Well, that's what people are really bidding on. So the price, as we know, the price of these T-bills, notes, bonds, government debt, okay, that's what reflects the interest rate and how much you get paid on. The more expensive that the bonds get, the lower the interest rate. The less expensive, the higher the interest rate. So if people are really happy with the government and think there's no issues, okay, they're going to be buying, bidding up government debt, and rates are going to come down. What we've seen over the last several months is, between a tariff issue and some maybe geopolitical risk and events, people in the world, or when I say people, I'm talking about other central banks, investors, whoever it might be, they haven't been so keen on U.S. government debt. And that's why U.S. government debt is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and those rates are moving higher. Okay, so the interest payments, T-bonds and T-notes pay interest twice a year. All bills just earn the face value at maturity. So you get to buy at a discount and then get paid the face value at maturity. Okay. And then you can buy, obviously, through your investment advisor, whomever it might be, you can get into the marketplace buying T-bills, bonds, notes, whatever it is. Okay. So is everybody clear on the bond auctions and why the bond auctions are so important? Because it's really a reflection of, excuse me, what people think about U.S. government debt. Everybody clear and cool with that? So for instance, today, well, we already had the 3 and 6 month bill auctions and 2 and 5 year note auctions today. Tomorrow, we have a 7-year note auction. Okay, nothing on Wednesday because of the FOMC. Thursday, there's 4 and 8 week, so really short-term bill auctions. Okay, so it's really, really, really important. Now, the most closely watched one is typically the 10 or the 20 or the 30 year, especially the 10-year, because that's really what all of our loans, mortgages, it's really what it's based off of. But they're all very, very important. Okay. Now, let's talk about what is on the docket tomorrow. Okay. These are 3 biggies for tomorrow. The Red Book report, JOLTS, and GDP Now. Okay, what is Red Book? Let's start there. The Red Book Index, it's a sales-weighted year-over-year same-store sales growth. Okay, it's a sampling of retailers around the country. It's about 9,000 stores. Okay, so it's really a reflection on the consumer. How is spending going? So Red Book is a pretty significant indicator to let us know the health of the consumer. The JOLTS report. The JOLTS report is a big one. Okay, that one can really move the market because it is a direct reflection of the employment situation. So JOLTS stands for Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey. JOLTS. Okay, it tells us how many job openings there are each month, how many workers were hired, how many quit their job, how many were laid off, and how many others experienced other separations, meaning they just retired, maybe they died. Okay, so lots of information there. GDP Now. Okay, and when I post it up in the week ahead, I always post it up as Atlanta Fed GDP Now because it's the Atlanta Fed, and there are different divisions, geographic divisions, different sections of the Fed throughout the country. Chicago Fed, New York Fed, Atlanta Fed. Anyway, the Atlanta Fed publishes out a forecast. It's not an official forecast. Okay, like we're going to get a GDP report, I think tomorrow, in fact, not just the GDP Now. Let me see when GDP is this week. It is, I think maybe it's Thursday, one of the big days. Let's see. GDP, yeah, we get out actually Wednesday. So we'll get into that. We get Wednesday GDP, but the Atlanta Fed GDP Now, okay, is a running estimate of real-time GDP growth. Okay, when we get the GDP number, like we're going to get Wednesday, that's already happened in the rearview mirror. That's data for the rearview mirror. Okay, this is what is happening right now. So this gives a much more present and clearer picture of the economic landscape right now. Okay, everybody good so far? And before we go any further, let's, just made it easy. I could have done Leonid, fantasy, whatever it is. Word of the day today. And again, today's swag will be, and we'll do a bunch of them. Okay, Leonid and friends swag. So Danny is the word today. Get your entries for the wheel in soon. Okay. Give it another Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge is a heck of a baseball player. I don't know if you guys knew that. In addition to his basketball prowess, Danny Ainge was drafted by the Blue Jays. Absolutely could have played professional baseball, but I think he made the right choice. Went on to have a damn good career in the NBA, and now is, I think he's general manager at Celtics, if I'm not mistaken. Got both cards. There you go. Nice. Okay. Now, tomorrow, these are the big economic events tomorrow. First is the ADP non-farm employment change. That comes out always the Tuesday ahead of the big non-farm payroll report, which we're going to get on Friday. Okay? It's a monthly report on private sector employment. Okay? And the reason it's ADP, it's because it's released and conducted by the ADP Research Institute. And over time has become very, very closely watched. It gives us kind of a peek into what we may see on Friday. Okay, it's based on actual payroll data from about 400,000 US businesses and about 25 million employees. So it's not just a tiny snapshot. However, I don't know the reason why, but the ADP report for, I don't want to say as long as I can remember, but certainly the last year, maybe 18 months, has not been a real good indication of what to expect for the non-farm payroll report that we are going to see on Friday. But the market does look at that big time. Also tomorrow, this is a biggie because this is what the Fed really looks at to help them gauge inflation. PCE, personal consumption expenditures. And tomorrow we'll get the core PCE, easy for me to say. It's an inflation measure and it excludes food and energy. That's the core part of it. And the reason you see that is because food and energy can be really, really volatile. Okay, so it focuses on the price of goods and services which are purchased by consumers, excluding those volatile components. And like I mentioned earlier, it is not just a key indicator, it is the go-to for the Fed to gauge underlying inflation trends. So we get that tomorrow. Then let's go Wednesday. Wednesday. Consumer spending. Okay? Consumer spending is pretty much what you would think it is. Okay? It is a measurement on how you and I are spending, how the consumer is doing. Okay? It is spending on final goods and services for current personal and household use. We know that the consumer, okay, drives almost 70% of CPI. Excuse me, I said CPI, of GDP. The consumer is the economy. Okay, it is a key driving force in the economy, a critical concept in economic theory. So consumer spending is a huge number that comes out. And then we get GDP on Wednesday. Not the Atlanta Fed GDP. Remember, that's kind of a forecast of what's going on right now. GDP that we get is actually a report in the rearview mirror. Okay, it stands for gross domestic product, and it represents the total value of goods and services produced in-house or in the US over a specific period. Typically, we'll look at a quarter or a year or both. It is a really, really important indicator of the economic health of the country, and it's used to gauge economic growth and performance. Okay, everybody good so far? And I'm going to give up this here just for a moment as we do a last call for the wheel. Okay, last call for the wheel. S&Ps are now trending towards their low of the day. And when I say low of the day, it's down 8 points. Not a big deal here, but kind of moved in the opposite direction a little bit here. Okay, now let's get back to Wednesday, the Fed, right? What is the FOMC? I mean, we hear every day for the last months and months and months and months, President Trump railing on Jerome Powell to lower rates. In fact, this morning in Sweden, Trump was all over the airwaves saying we should still be 3 percentage points lower, which there's absolutely no way. But we're going to get a Fed decision on Wednesday. They're not going to change anything. The expectation, what is built into the market, is that interest rates will remain the same. But what is the FOMC? Okay, the members of the FOMC conduct our monetary policy. And their goal, their mandate, as you hear Jerome Powell say all the time, okay, the real reason, the description for what they do, it is to promote maximum employment, keep prices stable, and moderate long-term interest rates. So it's quite the juggling act, quite the balance act. Okay, the FOMC consists of 12 members. So there's 7 members of the Board of Governors of the Fed, the President of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and 4 of the remaining 11 Reserve Bank presidents. Okay, and they serve 1-year terms on a rotating basis. So just because you are on the Fed, okay, does not mean you are a voting member of what happens in the FOMC. But besides Powell or whoever the next chairman of the Fed is going to be, the remaining members all have 1-year terms, not for the Fed, but to be a voting member. They meet 8 times a year, so it's not every month, it's every 6 weeks. So we go from this week, there's no meeting in August, and then mid-September is the next one. Okay, they meet 8 times a year to discuss what's going on, monetary policy, inflation, blah, 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 blah. And what they determine is the Fed or federal funds rate. The Fed funds rate is the interest rate, okay, at which banks, depository institutions, okay, at the Fed, it's the rate they lend to, it's what the Fed lends to banks and other institutions overnight. It's the overnight lending rate. So whatever the Fed funds rate is, okay, where they're loaning money to a bank, well, we're going to pay higher than that, right? Because the bank's got to make a little vig in there also. Okay, and changes in the Fed funds rate has a wide swath of impact on our daily life. Okay, change in Fed funds rate affects other short-term interest rates, foreign exchange rates, long-term interest rates, and the amount of money and credit, and ultimately a range of economic variables, including employment, output, prices of goods and services. So we have only gotten up to Wednesday, which is what I prepared to do today, because Thursday and Friday are massive also. So tomorrow we will continue this discussion for what we're going to see on Thursday and Friday. Okay. Hopefully this has been, a little bit of help, provide some clarity so that when you see a headline coming across the tape at 8:30 Eastern in the morning, 7:30 Central, which is a time when many of the big economic data points are announced, you'll know exactly what it means. Any questions before we go to the wheel? Any questions at all? Okay, we're going to do a few spins today because I've got some Leonid swag to give away. We've got, again, a couple of hats here. We've got some of these bluish Leonid for Lori shirts to give away, like the one I'm wearing. We have them in pink. And we actually have some Leonid itself, Leonid and Friends t-shirts as well. All right. Are we all ready here? Got a good start of the week wheel here. Everybody's eligible today. It is a new week. So the first two spins will be for a Leonid hat. Got two hats. Okay. First two spins will be for a Leonid hat. Number one goes to McCarty, who I know you won last week, McCarty, as well, but that is okay. That is okay. It is a new week. McCarty, are you here? Are you here? Are you here? Are you here? Oh, McCarty. Oh, no. Don't be the one. You are there. Wonderful. Okay, hat number two is going to go to Stephen Frystack. Stephen, I know you are here because you just made a funny about drafting the punter. I know you are here. All right. Next up, we will do, I have a few of these, so we'll do a couple Leonid. This was their tour t-shirt from a couple tours ago. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so the first, you're welcome. The first t-shirt winner Todd Lindbergh in the house, another winner. Todd, are you in the house? Todd, are you in the house? Yes, you are. Nicely done. Okay. Okay, got one more spin for this shirt, and then we got a couple other shirts. All right, the next Leonid t-shirt is Dave Schubert. Dave Schubert, are you in the house? Hi, Dorothy. Hope all is well. Dave Schubert, are we still in the house today? Yes, you are. Boy, these people are responding quick today. Awesome, Dave. Beautiful. Okay, now the next ones here. You guys will notice the logo on the shirt that I'm wearing and what's on this shirt right here is very similar to the Leonid and Friends logo that's here, except as I explained early on, the band actually did a private concert for my charitable foundation. So these were the shirts that we had made up. Very similar, but it has the foundation name and all that good stuff. So we're going to give out a few of these, okay? The first one will be for a pink shirt because there's pink and there's blue. The first one is for a pink shirt. That is going to Kevin, looks like. Kevin, I think you're still here. I'm sure you are. I know you just said go, Dave. Oh, there we go. There we go. Somebody wanted to know my foundation. I just put up a link to it. Don't talk much about it because I don't really want to mix the two together, but we do have an event coming up in a week and a half. And if anybody is a big Jalen Brunson fan, I think I've mentioned this before, or anybody knows of a big Knicks Jalen Brunson fan, Jalen is a very close friend of our family's. He signed a couple jerseys for us to auction off. If anybody is interested, you let me know. And now this is going to be for a blue shirt. This will be the last one of the day. Here we go. Winner is Sean Campbell. Are you in the house? Sean Campbell, are you in the house? So what I'm going to do is I am going to post up here. Sean, I haven't seen you. Wait a minute. Maybe we need to spin again. Sean Campbell. Uh-oh, exactly, Steven. Ruh-roh, Sean Campbell. Boy, oh boy. I don't know. But what I'm going to post up here is first, here is a link to the Leonid and Friends tour website. So if anybody wants to see where they're playing, and again, if you guys want to go, you just let me know. Okay, do not buy tickets. You just let me know if you want to go. Boy, Sean Campbell, you're out. Guess we're going to have to spin again. Here we go. Winner of the blue shirt is it going to be Marty or is it going to be Nico? It is Marty. Marty Levine. My Sammy compatriot. Are you still in the house? Are you still in the house? Marty, are you here? Oh, no, not two in the same sitting? I know there's a long show today here, but Marty, I know you were here earlier. We're going to give you about 10 seconds, and then we'll just go right back to the wheel. I hope the third time is the charm. I'm getting really dizzy watching the wheel spin. All right. Sorry. Here we go. All right. Steven, Sylvia, Teddy. Sylvia Lippman. Are you in the house? Come on. Somebody's got to show up here. Sylvia, are you in the house? Please. Please. Wow. It's getting disappointing now. I'm taking this personally. Everybody leaving early. Sylvia, we're going to give you 10 seconds, and then we got to spin again. Three. Oh, Sylvia, you just made it. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. We're going to put up here a link to shoot me an email for all the winners here. If you won one of the hats, still send me an email. Obviously, I don't need your size, but send me an email with your address. For everybody that won a t-shirt, send me an email with your mailing address and your size swag. Mike, can you put up the link across the board there, please? There we go. There we go. And before I leave everybody today, this is tonight live. Anybody that wants to catch a little bit more of Danny, he has a live stream tonight. I just put up the link there. It is really, really cool. All right, everybody. Thank you. Hope you all enjoyed a little bit of music today, a little bit of fun in here. Tomorrow we will continue and talk about the really, really important eco data that we have the rest of the week, how it may impact the markets. All right. As always, I appreciate all of you. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.